Today we're going to look at division of fractions, which really means how many of a fraction can cover the fraction. So we're going to understand the concept of division of fractions and then learn how to divide them. When you look at this, you have 1/2 divided 1/4. Really what you're asking is how many 1/4 can go into 1/2. So if you look at 1/2, that's our starting number, and we want to know how many 1/4 go into it, you can see 2 do. To divide a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. Anything in yellow on this PowerPoint, I just want you to watch. We'll be getting to our notebooks in a minute. What a reciprocal is. Reciprocal means to exchange the numerator and the denominator of the fraction. If you don't believe, let me prove this trick. We know 4 divided by 2. How many 2's go into 4? We know it's 2. Well, let's look at the same. If I take 2 over 1, which is your fraction, and flip it over, or use its reciprocal 1 over 2, we would get, because we know how to do this, simplify would go 1 and 2. 2 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1, which would equal 2. They equal the same thing. So division really means to multiply by its reciprocal. It'll always work. So if we look at this and we ask again, how many 1/4 go into a half? We know the answer is 2. Okay, so if we did that trick, 1/2 times the reciprocal of 1 over 4, we flip it. We could simplify these, or we could just multiply. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, and you'd get 2. So let's look at some more. But let's get out our notebook first. Divide a fraction really means to multiply by its reciprocal. Reciprocal, the definition then is to flip the numerator and the denominator. So if I have 1/3, its reciprocal would be 3 over 1. How about 4/7? What is that reciprocal? If you said 7/4, you are correct. So the reciprocal is you're just flipping the numerator and the denominator. So let's look at another one. This time, how many 1/8 are in a half? Well, I can just check it. We've got 1, 2, just so I can see a visual, 3, 4. 4 1/8 are in there if I could get it lined up perfectly. I'm close. So let's see if that works. So I have a half, that always stays because that's what I'm cutting up, times the reciprocal of 1/8 is 1 over 8. It's 8 over 1. So now I simplify, get that to 1, and get that to 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. The answer is 4. So let's try this one without, and then we'll look at the bottom. So we're asking how many 8ths go into 3/4, or 3/4 divided by 1/8. I keep the first number. I switch the division to multiplication, and I multiply by its reciprocal and flip it. So 8 over 1. Now I use my multiplication rules, and let's simplify. I cannot simplify here, I can't simplify here, but here and here I can. So 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. The answer is 6. Now, not all my answers are going to come to be whole numbers. I'm just so you can actually see it. So when I put these in, you can see there's takes 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to get them perfect. 5, 6. Cover it. All right. Let's try one more. So I want you to try this one. So go ahead and stop the video and try it. All right, welcome back. So we have 3/4 divided by 3/16, or how many 3/16 can go into 3/4? So 3 over 4, we times by the reciprocal of 3/16, which is 16/3. Now I simplify. 3 and 3 can simplify. 4 ups to 1 and 1. 4 can go in there once, and 4 can go in there. So then I'm left with 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1. So let's just check it, that I have 1/4 and I have 3 of them. It's because I have 3/4, and I have 3 little 16th pieces. So if I start laying them over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what will eventually start to happen is maybe they won't fit and you will have leftovers inside, like maybe this, which would then give me 4 and 1/16, or 4 and 2/16, and so on and so forth. I don't know why that happened. I apologize. All right, so let's look at another one. Another way to remember, and you can write this in your notebook, is to keep the first number, switch the sign, and flip the second number, or to do its reciprocal. So if I keep the first number, I really have 2/1. So I keep the first number. I switch my sign from from division to multiplication, and then I flip. 2/3 is 3/2. And now I would simplify anything. So these cancel to 1 and 1, and I'm left with 3/1. All right, let's do a much more difficult one.